About Lizzo. It up. So Lizzo gets naked, twerks on herself, former herself. Lizzo is putting it all out there in more ways than one. On Friday, the singer dropped her new song, Don't Make Me Love You, and looked good as hell as she bears both her body and soul in the music video. In the visual for the emotional moment, 80s inspired pop ballet, the singer is rocking lingerie and a blonde bob while she confronts her former self. Lizzo seems to cycle through every emotion, crying, yelling, straddling, and twerking on her double. Eventually, she drips down to her birthday suit, hugging her past self in a touching tribute to her Cause I Love You album art. The music video is equally sexy and sentimental, proving Lizzo is still 100% that B word. I don't know why I didn't feel like saying that. I can't play the song, but it's called sponsorships. Thank you. Let's see. I can't play the song, but I see it. All right. That's cute. Now, the reason I wanted to speak on this topic is because I wanted to point out a lot of, I'll say, weird but funny situations. Um, there was a point, and I think there still is, but it's quote unquote less woke. And I hate using these type of terms less woke because it generalizes extreme people's point of view, and it doesn't really highlight that it's only specific people that think a certain way. So for example, what am I mean? What is it that what am I trying to say? I don't like to say I am liberal because if I say I'm liberal, you're gonna assume my beliefs immediately. I don't like to say I'm conservative because then you're gonna assume certain things about me. What is a stereotype of a conservative? A person that is racist, right? That's this is a stereotype. It doesn't mean that it's true, but we will stereotype based on your self-proclaimed identity, which is why I never say I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm not a left, I'm not a right. I don't say I'm woke. I don't say any of that. Why? Because I don't want people to generalize who I am as an individual and also create a persona of me just because I say I'm this and I'm that. Now, why am I telling you this? Because there was a time where people created this word called fat shaming, and there was many individuals that said, you know, if you call someone fat or if you say someone's overweight, you're shaming them and that's not good for their mental health or their health. And there was a lot of back and forth, and also Lizzo was embracing that, you know, she was overweight. But the thing that I wanted to point out is that she hired uh overweight people and they sued her. So this is the irony right here. So in August 2023, three former dancers sued Lizzo, alleging sexual harassment, creating a hostile work environment, and weight shaming. Now that's the funny part, weight shaming. So Lizzo purposely hired overweight performers for her show and they sued her for weight shaming. The suit alleged they were pressured into uncomfortable situations and criticized for their weight. But as of December 2025, a judge dismissed the fat shaming allegations with other claims ongoing. Obviously, they were just trying to make a quick buck, but this is the issue when we start creating these new terms like weight shaming, safe space. What was that Breakfast Club interview with this overweight girl, and she said that, she said the F, I don't say the F word. And in my head, I automatically thought, I was like, the F word. The F word to me is the word that's used for homosexuals. But she was saying fat. The word not to use, that she when she said the F word, she was saying fat, and I'm like, how is that a bad word? And if you look up fat, I think, isn't that like a scientific? Yeah. So fat is a macro nutrient and essential nutrient. Oh, but this is the actual thing. Um, why do people call people fat? People call others fat primarily to stigmatize, insult, or shame. Nah, but that's not what I'm looking for. Where does the word fat come from? So the fancy term is the etymology. That means the origin of a word. You get what I'm saying? Etymology is the fancy name of saying where did a word start. So for example, like the word fuck comes from the root German word fuke, which means hit a woman in the back of the head and R her from behind, right? Or R her, take advantage of her. That's where the origin word of fuck actually means, right? All right, so let's see. So fat originates from Old English, fat, fatted, plump, acting as a contracted past participle of fattening, meaning to cram or stuff. It stems from Proto-Germanic, okay, rooted in pie, to be fat, swell. It is distinct from fat, which comes from an Old English root. Okay, all right, but yeah, she said, this person in the Breakfast Club interview, she's also a rapper. She tried to sue an Uber driver because he didn't want to take her in her Prius because he thought that she was too overweight. That's what the Breakfast Club interview is about. But let's get back to Lizzo. So key details regarding the lawsuit include: the lawsuit claimed dancers were pressured to participate in and interact with performers at a sex show in Amsterdam, alongside accusations of religious and racial harassment. Come on, bruh. Fat shaming claims. The dancers alleged they were pressured regarding their weight and felt disrespectful. Behavior was highlighted specifically because they were full figured. According to BBC News, dismissal and defense. So in December 2025, a judge dismissed the claims related to fat shaming, reported BBC and YouTube. Lizzo has denied the accusation, calling them a fabricated sob story and stating she would never terminate an employee based on their weight. Just ridiculous, says the BCC in the Facebook posts. Yep. So the reason I wanted to have a conversation about this is, how are you gonna sue a person that is also overweight, who was expressing, loving their body, loving who they are as a person? Lizzo hires people that are also overweight. Or you could say fat, I don't really care. And then you sue her. Meanwhile, she's also fat. And this is the danger of using all these different terms, because you can turn anything into a term, right? Let's say they're performers and they need to know how much each person weighs to get on the stage, because there's a weight limit. You're gonna have to ask people's weight, which is why in the elevators they have sometimes they have like a warning sign, like no more than 6-7 people or no more than like 700 pounds, right? There's a reason why they have that. It's not to shame people. It's not to disrespect people who are obese. even on the roller coaster rides, you have to be a certain weight to get on the roller coaster ride, because if you get on it and something happens to you, that theme park are liable to get sued if you get injured or you pass away. So creating all these dangerous terms of like fat shaming and all that other shit, it's a slippery slope that many people face. And this was, I think now we're more upset things of like, yo, this shit is getting too ridiculous. It's getting extremely ridiculous. Now, the reason I bring this up is because now you see her of a video embracing her new body, losing the weight. Being overweight is just not healthy. It's the equivalent of someone smoking 12 packs of cigarettes a day. It's just not healthy. We're not gonna embrace or say, hey, good job for being unhealthy. Now, if you are overweight, there's ways you can change that, and it's extremely hard. I've struggled with my weight over the past few years. I know what it is to gain weight, lose weight, feel like crap, feel that, you know, your stomach is like all the way out, putting your clothes on. By the way, I'm a professional fat person. I'm a clean professional fat person, just so y'all know. Like, I'm professional. I'm an expert. I should just create a title for being a professional fat person. By the way, this is how you know I'm an expert in being fat, bro. Whenever you see, whenever I sit down, the first go-to move if you're overweight is this. You pull your shirt out like this when you sit down, because you don't want to look too fat. I'm telling you guys, I'm an expert. I go like this. I pull my shirt out. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, your gut be sticking out. So don't say that I'm fat shaming. I'm not fat. Just know that I'm a professional fat person. And I just, over the years, I've my weight has fluctuated. I gain weight, I lose weight. I'm now to a place where I'm being consistent, but you're talking to a professional fat person. All right. I know about wearing the bigger shirts over your stomach. I know about that. I know some people like to put their pants over their belly so it doesn't stick out. That's why I always used to wear tight clothes, because that's how I knew I was gaining too much weight. But yo, back to Lizzo. What was I talking about? Yes, I was just pointing out like the idea of someone that was embracing, you know, being overweight to now losing the weight, which is good. And also, it's just not, it's not sustainable. You can't be overweight for the rest of your life, because it leads to more chronic diseases. It leads to like diabetes. It leads to your foot getting cut off. It leads to something. It's just not good for you. It's that simple and plain. People talk about hurting other people's feelings. If I see someone overweight, I'm gonna be like, hey, you're mad fat. I would never do that. That's just disrespectful. Like, I would never come up to a person and speak to them like that. But in the same breath, if they do ask me questions about being overweight and all that other stuff, like, I'll answer them honestly. And honestly, bro, you feel like shit. There's no such thing as a person that feels good being overweight, that feels happy and confidently in themselves. I just don't. And it's not because it's because society deems it wrong. It's just that feeling of like you can't do certain things. Like, you feel big, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin when you put your clothes on and it doesn't fit right, and it's just like, yo, I'm gaining weight. You don't feel good. I'm talking from my personal experience. When I gain weight, I just don't feel good overall. But yeah, I wanted to cut. Let me know what y'all think of Lizzo. Her new music video. I can't play. It's gonna get copyrighted. But let me know what you guys think from, you know, her embracing. And by the way, if you're overweight and you're happy, good for you. But, you know, let me know what you think. She lost a lot of weight. She's happier now. I'm assuming she's happier. You must feel better mentally and physically. I always feel good when I eat right and exercise. Let me know what y'all think.